You might not realize it yet, but tutoring is about to change forever. I've started noticing a really interesting pattern across tutors that we work with, and I believe that it's gonna flip the entire industry on its head. You see, every single week, we're seeing tutors who just fixed their ads, and then suddenly they're starting to close at 50 and even up to 80%. And that's selling 2K packages with zero sales background, no personal brand, and virtually no followers. So today I'm gonna break down what's actually happening behind the scenes and why I believe that in the next 12 months, we're gonna start seeing a whole new class of online tutors. What's wild is how early stage these numbers are. We're talking 50 to 80% close rates on cold traffic from tutors who are just learning how to sell, who don't even have a single viral video yet or a consistent stream of leads from organic content. So everything we're seeing is just what the foundation is producing. Once the second phase is actually in motion and parents are getting nurtured by the content before they even speak to the tutor and the sales skills are improved to an actual high level, numbers aren't just gonna double, everything's gonna 10x. Now, if you want to shortcut all of the trial and error, there's a link in the description of this video. You can book a call with my team and we're gonna go over exactly how we'd implement everything I'm gonna talk about in this video for you. So here's exactly what we set up for our online tutors. Usually we start off with the video ad and maybe some statics. The whole point is that we diversify what we put out so that one thing is sure to work. And then once they come from the ads, they actually get nurtured by the content. You see, we post content on IG, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. You've got long form, you've got short form content, and then a lot of times you also have a Facebook group in your team. Now, the reason why all this is grayed out is because when you start out, the content isn't going to get any traction. Your first couple of videos, even if they're perfect, most likely won't get that many views. So although this is all set up, it is nowhere near in its full effect. And then obviously, every single person that does come from the top of funnel ads and that does see either long form or short form content gets nurtured by the retargeting ads. They get targeted specifically because we know that these people are way more likely to buy and way more likely to engage. So then these people get put into two categories. One, get a direct CTA, in which case this is an inbound lead, or they engage with the content, they comment, they DM or something like that, and then a conversation starts. We also sometimes utilize lead magnets to get even more people to show some interest, even though those type of people might not be ready to buy just yet. We still put them in the funnel. And then last step is obviously going to be sales calls, right? That's where all the conversion happens. However, again, keep in mind, these tutors have less than 2 months of closing practice on average, right? Some of them are brand new to closing. Yet parents are still somehow happily spending $2,000 to $3,000 on their packages. And they're not just spending it, they're spending it at 50 to 80%. So why do people send so much money to someone who has virtually zero brand, like zero online presence and very bare bones sales skills? And what actually happens when these same people that are collecting all this money actually get a brand set up and start to close at that high level? Well, I actually broke down the theory right here. And then I also have some real life examples of what happens after this bare bones system starts taking into effect and this content machine as well as the sales machine starts actually working in full. Let's say that your package is 2K, right? You've got a 50% close rate. Again, I'm going with the lower end. We could say 80, but let's just go conservative, say you're only closing about half the people that show up to your calls. So there's really two things you can do to improve the profitability / how many clients you get / client acquisition in general outside of the offer, right? One is going to be closing skill and the other is going to be branding, right? So if we first focus on closing skill, let's say we increase price by 50%. What happens? So price now went from 2,000 to 3,000. Now your close rate is going to drop from 50% to most likely 20%. Okay, that's fine. Then you spend some time, you improve your closing. Okay, price is still 3K. Close rate is now 40%. Okay, so now instead of closing at 2K, 50%, we're closing 3K at 40%. And that's just by improving the closing. And then you start working on your brand. You take your content seriously, content starts picking up. Let's say 4 months in, you start going viral, you got like 10K followers or even 5K followers, whatever. You've got some YouTube content up. We can start raising price again. First, the content is going to increase your close rate. is gonna skyrocket because now they're actually talking to someone that they know, they're familiar with, and they're basically fans. If you ever watched a YouTuber for a long time, or you're watching someone on Instagram for a long time, you start idolizing these people that you consume from. Imagine how easy it would be to close people that view you as their idol. That's exactly what you do with content, and that's why content is so important. So your close rate is gonna skyrocket. So now we have 3K at 60%, and then we can increase price again, because nobody really needs a 60% close rate. And if anyone has a 60% close rate, I would say that they're doing something wrong, aka they're charging way too little, so increase price. Now, closing rate drops to 40%, which is still extremely good. And now we just went from 2K at 50% to 4.5 at 40% by not changing any ads, not changing anything about the approach, just letting content and sales do its work. And I'm going to show you 2 examples of exactly how this works in practice. This is Marta, one of our clients. If I give you a little background, she came to us, and the main thing we did for her is we decreased the front-end costs of her business, meaning we made it a lot cheaper for her to get a customer. In the beginning, we were able to get her cost per lead from, let's say, roughly 20 pounds, right? It was 22 pounds in the beginning. We were able to get it down to 10 pounds. And then we changed nothing, absolutely nothing about the actual ads or VSL or about the funnel for the next 1 or 2 months. And then the cost per lead went to 3. It went from 10 to 3 just because she got 30K views, 100K views, 50,000 views, 100,000 views, 20K views, and it's just a couple of examples. And then people started viewing her as the idol. She started getting authority and credibility in the space, and that just made the cost per customer stupid cheap. Another example, this one is more sales oriented. For Patrick, he started in November at roughly 12K per month. Just 3 months later, he was able to get 70K per month. And the main thing here is that we also place a closer. And our closer did nothing but just improve his sales skills. And that did massive wonders for Patrick. 3 months later, again, March, 100K per month. 3 months later, again, 180K per month. This is what happens once you take this seriously. Patrick also did a lot of AI content, which also doubled all of the results. And my prediction basically, and the whole point of this video, is that we're just gonna start seeing a lot more tutoring businesses at 100K a month, 200K a month, 300K a month. Now, the bad thing for you if you're starting out is that this window is gonna start closing. And right now we're in the last era where tutors who are just starting out, who just build out new ads, are making 10 to 20K a month, can start hitting these numbers with just a bare bones system before the market actually gets flooded with polished, high authority personal brands, content teams, and killer sales teams. In just a couple of months, I predict that these same results will take a lot more time and a lot more money to achieve. But right now, the people that are getting on this train and are taking client acquisition for their tutoring business seriously, and they're building foundations like this, are setting themselves up for compounding momentum for the coming years. So if you're serious about being a part of this wave and don't want to chase it and play just catch up for the next year, click the link below, book a call, and we're gonna help you build the exact same system that I just went over on this video today.